been working on Kitty's harness, so I'm going to dress her in her harness as it is made to this stage. I don't know that there's much to learn here, but it's just something I'm going to do. The harness is not yet far enough progressed that it's all one piece, so I have to put it on in pieces. Last night I sewed 2 tabs on her back saddle, which the fore and aft back straps will go through. I'm going to point at them. I'm going to put the straps through them now, and you can see that. What those tabs do is they'll make it so that when I pick the harness up, that everything she's got on right now will come off as though it were one consolidated unit instead of falling apart. And then we still have to put the breast collar and traces on. That will never be a fixed part, but it's but those buckles and straps that you see hanging there in the front are what carry it, and those always have to be put on and taken off on a per wear basis. Okay, that's the general look. That harness is almost far enough progressed that it is far enough progressed that she could pull a very light load with it. And if today weren't just howling wind, I would ask her to pull a light load today, but this wind frightens them, and I'm not going to do that. She's never pulled a load before, and so that first pulling is going to be frightening. She still needs pointed at that ring right there, stuck my finger through it. She needs a strap that goes from there diagonally under her belly, and there will be a ring on her belly band to which it snaps, and she needs one of those from each side. I dropped that trace on the ground. That's how it will be when she pulls a ground load. She also needs a piece that goes from the top of her butt. That thing's called a spider, and it goes back and it wraps around her tail at the base of the tail, and that's called a I can't think of a crupper, and that provides the final point of the line that goes from her neck down her back to that strap and then down to her tail, and it forms a balanced pull point that keeps the harness straight on her. That's all the crupper does. There's no load on it. It just keeps the harness centered on her body and straight. And then under here, she needs a pad. She can pull a very, very light load like this, but she can't pull much of a load without padding under it, and that pad will be made out of sheepskin with the wool on, lambskin with the wool on, and she needs another pad under here, under her back saddle, for the same purpose. You know, she can wear that, but if I put cart shafts through the shaft rings on her right there on her back saddle and put weight down, that'll be uncomfortable for her, so she needs padding there. These are the cart loop shaft loops. And right here where I'm pointing, right there where I just pointed on the spider on her back, and where I simulated that D-ring and the trace hanging, there needs to be small passive steel hooks up there, just for a place for me to hook the traces, and that way when you disconnect your animal from their load, the traces don't drag and they don't have to be drooping around like they are now. That's just temporary. You can just take the trace off the load and you go clunk and you hang it on this hook. It's just passively there to receive and hold the traces. They're often called trace carriers, which makes sense. That's where that process is so far. I've been working on it for a few weeks. I hand sew almost all of it. I do have a machine, but I don't use it very often for a harness. I do almost all of that in hand sewing. And it's a constant process of fitting parts and then measuring and marking and then cutting and then further marking and measuring. And the beneficial, what I consider a benefit of doing it that way, is that she's had that on now at each progressive step, so that she's not afraid of the harness itself. Because the whole thing with donkeys is to teach them that they're safe. And she came here very nervous. She spent a lot of her life wild in a pasture, and then she lived, her owner was a woman, and men, are more scarier. Now the way I take that harness off, I'll take the traces and breast band off, breast collar off as one piece, and then I'll take all the rest of it off as the other piece, and it will remain mostly one piece like that. So that's, I think I'll leave the video run while I take it off. That's the current status of harness. Throughout all of this, old Abraham, he's just waited there. He's a very patient old guy. On the other side of her, that's Clara, her daughter. She's not that patient, but she's a good girl. That's all for now. Thank you.